Hey, what's up everyone? I wanted to make a quick video talking about a few things. First of all, how something feels so eerie. What do you know? A couple of vehicles. Wow, a couple of actual pedestrian vehicles driving down the road. But it's been so eerily quiet since they put in place that safer at home bill, the safer at home law. And it's been so quiet that it's like you might see an 18-wheeler or something like what's going by now, but other than delivery trucks, it's silent. Other than the delivery trucks. And to be honest with you, when you see as few vehicles as what we've seen lately on the road, it's actually eerie. It's like a ghost town. It's eerie. And it gives you a feeling of, like, I don't know, just control. And it's creepy. And when my daddy says, and he was saying that, man, he said, I actually miss hearing a vehicle, sort of. See, before he would fuss about the traffic. Now they're few and far between hearing a vehicle. It's very few and far between to hear a vehicle. A pedestrian vehicle, a citizen. And it's creepy. Silent. The silence is creepy. So when you're so used to hearing traffic, it almost feels like, I don't know, just like mind control. You just feel like, okay, and everyone just complies, which I know you have to, because of the virus. They say that it'll slow the spread or whatever. And I hope it does. I hope, for the sake of all of the good people in this world, I hope that it does slow down. But when you hear no traffic, but just a delivery truck every once in a while, or a vehicle every once in a while going by, it's an eerie feeling. It really is eerie to see there's one vehicle. Normally this road would be bumper to bumper of vehicles just going down the road, flying down the road all the time. The ones that are together are keeping their distance. And it's odd. It almost feels like a state of control. And I hope, for the sake of humanity, that they don't see how far things can go and then take the control steps further. Because right now they're like, well, the state of Tennessee is complying. And I hope that it doesn't get to where it is in other countries right now, that if you don't comply and stay at home, you're arrested and, forced down to the ground by police force. That's what I hope. I hope it doesn't get to that direction. Because it is freaky. Very freaky to hear a practically silent road, all but an 18-wheeler. There's an 18-wheeler. Delivery trucks and 18-wheelers and things, but it's just eerily silent when you hear no traffic. And it feels like we're in a state of sort of a beginning stages of control. And I'm going to wait and see, though. I don't put rumors out. I don't want to do that. I hate the fear stuff. Because, see, there's one vehicle. If we were totally out of freedom, there would be no vehicles on the road whatsoever. But they said right now, people in the state of Tennessee seem to be complying, so there's no reason to take it any steps further. They look like a game warden truck. I don't know what they were going by for, but anyway, yeah, it just feels that way. And it just feels like, I don't know if you all know, but there's that UFO type craft. It's an orange light that usually goes by when I'm out here. An orange craft. Let's see if it shows up on camera. Maybe our area will be protected through the storms. Maybe the Lord will protect us. There's one vehicle. What do you know? Another vehicle. Another one vehicle. But it's nothing to what it usually is. And hearing the silence on these roads is eerie. The silence on these roads is eerie. Because we usually have traffic all the time on the main road and some on the old road. But anyway, I just hope they don't take things further for more control and see if people just comply with this. And when you see all of those medical places and medical units, and there's no one in them right now, but they say that they have such short staff and such demand for people, or for people, places for people to be, that FEMA has now put up lots and lots of stations, mobile triage stations, and they're like, well, there's no one in there. And they said, well, there could be. We're preparing for the worst case scenario. Now they're turning football stadiums and some of the churches and, mega churches and some of the businesses and schools that aren't going into hospital places, from what I see. Which is good if they use it for the right purposes. But what if some elite system uses that excuse to microchip people? Here's your vaccination. Let's microchip you. And I don't want that. I don't want them to utilize some sort of situation or control. There's something in the air, and I don't like it. And I don't want them to utilize this system to utilize this thing to take more control. And this is all they really needed to take control. Now, this administration is not having that. Now, he did say that this administration said no more than 18 to 24 months. So that means up to a year and a half to 2 years. No more than a year and a half to 2 years of soldiers being on the streets. Now, right now, all I see is the National Guard and Salvation Army. That is not MARTIL law. Don't want to use a trigger word. If it were that, you'd know it. I hear someone playing Gangnam Style going down the road. I haven't heard that song in years. Anyway, what do you know? Anyway, it just feels... It feels weird. It feels eerie. Everyone off the roads mostly. No one being anywhere. Everything's takeout. Want to hear something funny? Something crazy? O'Charlie's is offering beers for people. $2 beer. If you're driving, they always said if you're driving, don't drink. But yet they're offering 2 to 3 drink limit beers to go to your vehicles. Isn't that crazy? Yeah. That is crazy. But everything's takeout, drive-through, even local restaurants, small mom and pop restaurants. The places that there's one restaurant we went to that was local up in a town north of here. They're not even running. If they said they'll go out of business. They said if people don't start getting takeout, making calls. And I hope they don't utilize this disaster as a situation for control, because those that were utilizing and wanting, they've tried every possible way to try to create control. There's one lone car, one vehicle, but they've tried so much to bring control, and they haven't gotten their way all this time, so they're trying again. There's one more lone vehicle, but they've tried and tried and failed. So maybe I don't want a New World Order type situation, but I know the temple hasn't been built and all of that. I know that hasn't happened. But we're seeing so much happen. I will tell you, fear does nothing. There's one more vehicle. Fear does nothing. Doesn't help at all. But when people say, don't touch anything, stop, don't cough, don't touch anything, don't touch surfaces, don't touch each other, don't get near each other, people are afraid to hand you change, people are afraid to exchange money without, medical gloves and everything are in short supply. They claim they had to order 30,000 ventilators and these hospitals are using up ventilators like crazy. They don't have enough for the people, and they're having to make FEMA places all around to house people, they say, in case of disaster, which I understand that. FEMA's supposed to be there for disaster, but I hope they don't use that situation for an NWO, for the NWO. That's what I hope. But you see these, what about these people that are going to be put onto those naval ships? These Navy ships. They say they're going to give them vaccines. They're going to help them. Are they? I mean, I hope. But what if you're microchipped with a vaccine? Who's to say that? But I mean, you know, I just, even if it's not that, I don't want, even if it's not the actual, that they've got a thing now that they want to put in children. By the way, the Children's Health Insurance Program is called CHIP, and Obama initiated it, from what I remember. CHIP. Kind of conveniently named there, isn't it? Ironically named. Children's Health Insurance Program, CHIP. And they do want to try to microchip children. This article was put out last year stating that, oh, it's hard to keep up with vaccinations and who's had them and who's had what. Let's just microchip them. Let's put an electronic tattoo, and it goes into your skin, puts a tiny scar on you, or a mark. Kind of creepy to think about, but that's what they wanted to do. Elon Musk bought 50,000 ventilators from China. He bought them, brought them over here, which is a good thing if it helps people. I mean, but the eerie silence, seeing people in a controlled state. They said in Tennessee, right now there's no plans to keep people from leaving at all without a form unless absolutely necessary. They said if people keep complying like they are, which they've extended it, they've extended the Safer at Home bill. But you've got Europe, the continent of Europe, the entire country of China, most Asian countries, Australia. You've got England, which is in the UK and Europe and all that. You've got all these countries on lockdown. All these continents on lockdown. People don't realize the entire world stopped. World trade has stopped twice. Finances have quit. They actually had to get a $2 trillion bill just to bail people out because hundreds of millions of people are unemployed right now. Even though my daddy's a truck driver, he doesn't deliver the foods and things, so that's food and drugs, so that's uncertain. His job's uncertain because it's slow because they just deliver doors and things like that. So he's not making the runs that he needs for us to, get by like we need. And if they shut things down for a while, I don't know. I'm hoping things get better, but we know prophecies, and I don't think this is it. This isn't the big shebang, but this is one of many events. But something, is it BIOWARFARE? Is it? I think someone knows something. There's been too much talk about it. Am I going to scaremonger? No. Do I know what's going on? No. I know rivers are turning red, waters are turning red, rivers, lakes, streams, creeks. Water is turning red. There's an asteroid coming toward the Earth. It's supposed to miss us, thankfully, in April. Apophis is on the way, which is known as the Destroyer in Egyptian. There are earthquakes and pestilences happening in various places. There went a fire truck, but there are various things happening in various places. I mean, we're not at the final, I don't feel, but I still feel 2030 is a pivotal point, especially with the bills they made. But does it feel controlled to you? Does it feel like something is in the air where, seeing how far the world elites can go to bring people into a controlled state and see who will follow and listen? Maybe not. And I understand I am not going to go out there and act stupid, because those people acting stupid are the ones that's going to allow further implementation of these laws. Like Jacob Israel said, those people who act like that are going to cause them to give an excuse to control. So we have to take this one moment at a time. We can't say it is this or it isn't that with what's going on right now. But it's good to remain vigilant, and it's good to observe, because, man, it's crazy that it's 80 degrees right now. 80 degrees at 10:44 p.m. and strong storms on the way. I hope that we miss them. I hope they don't get too bad on us. But yeah, it feels like some sort of controlled state is in the works, and it's happening because they have people complying. So far, they have people controlled. But as long as we can trust those in charge to not abuse their position of authority and power and take it steps further into total totalitarian control. I know those other foreign countries are doing that, but as long as it doesn't happen here, we'll just have to take it one moment at a time, be observant, vigilant, pray and hope, and just pay attention to the surroundings and see how things go before making any accusations or assumptions. But it just seems like it's a prime moment for control, really. I hope not. But it feels like the situation that many of us have been talking about all of our life for many, many years. Alright, so peace, signing out. Let me know what your thoughts are on all of this. My links are below. If you'd like to help us through tough times, if you'd like to help donate and you like what I do as well, my link is below. I love you all so much. Signing out. Peace.